Is it possible that ancient Israelites were using cannabis to access the Most High? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. We're going to talk about a new discovery out of Israel. And this is the latest article in my Cannabis Consciousness and Conspiracy blog. You can check that out, link down in the description. If you're into any of those three topics, I think you're really going to enjoy the content that I'm producing in this new blog. Today is on cannabis, and it really ties into consciousness as well. So check out the links down in the description. And before we get into this study, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button if you like the video. Share this video with friends that you think might find it interesting. So let's go ahead and dive in. Researchers out of Israel have taken a new dive into an archaeological dig from the 1960s. Just over an hour south of Jerusalem in modern-day Israel, and there's a archaeological site called Tel Arad. And in the 60s, they unearthed two fortresses as well as a shrine being a place where religious or ritualistic ceremonies are practiced in that sense. So let's go ahead and dive in there. Within the shrine, you can see it pictured in the video here. They found two limestone pillars, one a little bit taller than the other by about 2 inches. And within those pillars, they found evidence of frankincense and cannabis. One of the pillars had frankincense as well as remnants of animal fat, which they think was helped to use to vaporize the frankincense more easily. And in the other limestone altar or pillar, they found remnants of cannabis. And they did this by analyzing the charred, black, solidified substance that they found in these pillars. And they did a test to analyze the chemical composition and found that it had phytocannabinoids such as THC, CBD, and CBN. Interestingly, they also found that the cannabis-containing altar also had remnants of animal dung, which means that they think that they used animal dung to help the cannabis burn better or something, which is interesting, but I guess you could have used something a little bit nicer, but animal dung might help, I guess. Anyway, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep moving on. They said what's interesting is that this shrine dates back to about 2,700 years ago, or 750 BC to 715 BC. And the researchers say that this is a official shrine of the Kingdom of Judah, and that it was also being used at the same time as Solomon's Temple. Solomon's Temple, also known as the First Temple, is said to be a center, the first holy temple of Judaism, of Jewish ritual and religion. Now, I'm not an expert in that. I might be getting some of those aspects wrong, but I'm just going by the reports here. And so they say that the practices in this shrine at Tel Arad may give us some insight to what practices and rituals may have been going on in Solomon's Temple. Do you think that they were using cannabis to have a altered state of consciousness, to access communication with the spirit world or with God? What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. It's very interesting. Now, the researchers go on to say that both the frankincense and the cannabis were likely imported from far abroad. Frankincense likely came from Arabia. Frankincense is a hardened resinous tree sap. It was very aromatic. And during that time, it's said to be very, very, very expensive. So only the highest classes, the highest, most wealthiest were able to actually access frankincense. And they say that the cannabis was likely imported from Central Asia in the form of hashish, which is possible. It's debatable. It's hard to know really. So diving further in to this wonderful article, they say that it's very possible that as well as here, this indicates that in Solomon's Temple, the first temple, they were using cannabis along with frankincense. According to the reports, the Hebrew Bible doesn't mention anything about cannabis to their knowledge, but it does mention things about frankincense. And the people of that time were also into getting drunk on grape wine and things like this. So altered states of consciousness were there. And what's interesting is this is some of the oldest evidence of ritualistic cannabis use to date that we have, especially in the ancient Israelite population, which is very interesting, all of that. As well, this is also the earliest evidence of frankincense in ritualistic ceremony. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that they were using this just as incense? Because a lot of the narrative suggests that cannabis and frankincense were just used as incense, kind of to set the mood, you know. But researchers argue that it's very unlikely that the cannabis was traded and brought from afar to be burned just as incense, because locally in the region they had available to them plants with similar aromatic properties from the compounds called terpenoids compounds, which they also found remnants of in the altar, which can be found in cannabis, but those same aromatic compounds, those terpenes, can be found in similar plant species that were locally available. So they suggest that it's unlikely that they were just burning the cannabis just for its aromatic properties, and it's more likely that they were using the cannabis to create an altered state of consciousness. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment. Let me know. What do you think? Were the ancient Israelites using cannabis as incense, or were they actually using cannabis and getting blazed over in these shrines? Do you think that the ancient Israelites and the Temple of Solomon, the first temple, were getting high? Were they accessing the Most High? I don't know. I find all this stuff very fascinating, interesting. I don't have any answers or conclusions other than to share this new discovery with you guys. This was just published just a day or so ago, and it's coming out. So this is really interesting to me, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the link down in the description to read the article that I wrote about it. It's probably more articulate and more direct to the point, as opposed to me rambling on camera like this. But I hope to get a little bit better at producing some of this type of content for you, for me, for us, for the collective consciousness. So go ahead and check out my new blog, Cannabis, Consciousness, and Conspiracy, and see what else I got going on there. And stay tuned for more content. I'm going to be producing at least 3 articles a week for this new blog. One pertaining to each topic: cannabis, consciousness, and conspiracy. This one kind of hits too, cannabis and consciousness. Is very interesting. So yeah, you guys, we'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.